to come to the stage. It is Zhuo Wang, better known as Tomato. Calls Shanghai, China home in the investment banking world where he makes his living. And when he's not playing Summoner's War, he likes to play a little Texas Hold'em.
My name is Wang Zhu. The game name is Tomato. I'm from China, Shanghai, 34 years old. My job is financial investment. I play Summoner Wars because this game is different to other game. It's special. I think it's a very good game.
Yeah, it definitely is, and one of the things as well is Barian was letting other people play on his account just to see different mindsets, and I like that you brought that up as well. But it looks like we are into our first match here, and
we are indeed.
We see Tomato going off with the Molong here first pick, and Tulov coming right back with a Tian Lang and Sierra pick. What do you think about that, Childish?
I love it, considering what kind of units that Tomato generally brings. The Tian Lang, of course, that unique passive is going to be able to generate attack bar when the other opponent brings any kind of attack bar manipulation there on his side. So really good pick. Of course, we got Amelia coming through here, bringing in that immunity, that cleanse. It's going to be pretty unique. The defense break, or the defense buff, excuse me. I like the choices that I see so far.
Yeah, first look at Amelia so far in this particular tournament.
Amelia is an extremely good counter against Ganymede, which Tomato also picked on his second round of picks, but Tulov also has a Gianna as well to kind of counterplay against the Wusa. So Tomato now coming back with the Perna. Again,
so a really nice counter from Tulov there against Tomato's Gani and Wusa.
Absolutely.
In his draft, and then it's the Perna
and Yan Hong, the same monster that we saw from Barian 2 matches ago.
Tulov taking his time, considering what Tomato has laid out.
What does he need here, Childish?
He got the strips, he got the cleanse, he's got a little bit of CC, but of course on Tomato's side, he only has Wusa here by means of immunity. So does he ban that one, or does he let Ye Hong slide through?
I would have liked to see a little bit more sustainability from Tulov on that last pick. I don't know if the Howler was the one pick that he really needed,
right.
But of course these players are some of the best in the game, so they probably know exactly what they're doing. But of course the Tian Lang is still in play, and it looks like
the Yan Hong is banned by Tulov over on Tomato's side.
Tomato.
And is it the Tiana that Tomato got rid of?
Gianna,
sorry. The Hathor is also a first look for us, and we saw the Hathor, a really popular combo with the Ganymede in some of the regionals coming up to this point. But obviously, Gani not available for Tulov, as that was drafted on Tomato's side.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons behind that is the Gani-Hathor combination was so strong, a lot of players were really thinking about how they were supposed to counteract it. So when that happens, there's a lot of players that figure it out, and then they kind of just bring it out of meta.
And that's part of the replay value of Summoners, where the game continues to evolve all the time as round 1 underway here, gentlemen.
Looks like Tulov is trying to get those immunities in play. He gets a clutch stun on Molong here. Of course, Molong having that reckless assault is going to be able to take away that burst damage. The bomb is in, and it is landed again. He's taking a lot of good damage, but hasn't been able to take him out just yet. So, of course, he's going to be cycling through Amelia's skills and seeing to get that defense buff and keep that sustainability in play, Clay.
Yeah, Tulov looking really good out of the gate here, getting the defense break, the bomb, the stun, and everything onto that Ganymede. If he gets that down in the next turn, he's going to be in a really good position here to win this first round. And he does land another defense break on it, but does he have enough? Gets the bomb onto Molong and able to do some damage onto the Ganymede.
Ooh.
And freezes
Unbelievable
the Perna.
freeze. Unbelievable freeze there. Tulov is definitely controlling the fight right now. Notice that he did not land the barge, did not blow up the bomb on Molong. He wanted to wait the time because Molong was already stunned. I like that approach there that he's doing.
You guys are classy professionals. I'm fired up with the way Tulov has come out of the gate here against Tomato. He's looking really good.
And with that Ganymede going down, there's not a lot that Tomato can actually do to get back in this game, especially with having a bomb onto the Molong as well.
Yep, and he gets that attack buff into play on Perna. So even if Perna gets that RNG, the Violent Proc here, he's not going to be able to do a ton of damage in this situation.
And we see that Violent proc from Musa. Not a monster that you see built on Violent a whole lot, but it definitely works out for him in his favor in this match.
Tomato setting back 2Love right now with the immunity in play. Ciara is out of the mix. Of course, we have the Hathor can use the second skill and remove those beneficial effects. Let's see who he decides to focus on. Who will it be, Clay?
Get rid of the Molong. Get him out of the game before he can get the HP rebuilt from Perna.
Perna and Wusa. Wusa does have that second skill that can bring that HP in.
But it looks like we may be experiencing a little bit of a lag here, but of course, we'll get right back into it. There it goes. Sweet Dreams come down onto Molong, gets the sleep, removes the abilities, and you can see already that the HP was brought back from the Wusa. Does get the stun onto the Molong, but not able to remove any of the other buffs on the other two monsters, unfortunately, but able to bomb it out, leaving 2Love in a really good position in this first round.
And that was an important piece of the puzzle for 2Love because that Perna was such a good support character for the Molong.
Yeah, with that heal in play, yeah, definitely keeping that Molong at bay. Big hit with the Perna, taking out that Ciara. Sitting now, of course, still 2Love in favor with 3 monsters to 2. Can Tomato turn it around? Looks like he's still trying to work that Perna down.
This is a long uphill climb.
Yeah, and of course
for Tomato.
With Amelia in there having that immunity, the defense break, it's just so much sustainability on his end. Defense is just so crucial in the later stages of the map.
2Love able to land the sleep as well onto Wusa. Now he just needs to kill the Perna one more time, and he has this in the bag. Plus, he still has his second skill up again from Hathor as well. Yep. Able to land the defense break. Does not get the freeze, but it's not going to be enough for the Perna to come back. Or is it? He does get another violent proc and takes down the Tiana.
You gotta be kidding me.
He could be turning this around right here.
Unbelievable turn of events here. 2 monsters apiece. Of course, Tomato having that Perna. Now we got that attack right there. It's not going to be able to do much damage, but we'll have to see if 2Love can keep on getting those violent procs and takes out Perna. Wow, that could be the match just there.
Yeah, Tomato came back, able to take out the Tian Lang, but 2Love responding and getting a couple violent procs there, doing enough damage on the Perna, and 2Love should be able to finish this match out.
It did get exciting there for a minute with the violent proc taking out the Panda.
And that's what the violent procs could do. RNG, it's a blessing and it's a curse.
A little bit of a tease for Tomato, it feels like.
Sweet Dreams not missing any second here, taking away that immunity, getting that sleep. Of course, we're going to be able to break it out. But again, RNG getting that freeze. There it is. Nothing Capado can do. What kind of adjustments will he make? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, listen, Tomato, a big favorite, according to both of you guys, now finds himself down in the hole 1-0 after that first round. And that's probably some fairly unfamiliar territory for him. I sense that he's the kind of guy that gets out of the gate and puts the pressure to his opponent more often than not. And here, he's going to have to make the shift. Did you like the comp that he built out in that first round, guys? Was it the right one?
For Tomato, I don't think he was expecting to be going against a Tian Lang and a Gianna.
Yep.
You may see one or the other, but having to go against 2 of them is completely a different story. So now he's got the first glance at 2Love's monster box. He knows what he's gonna have to deal with in the second round, and now is when kind of Tomato is gonna shine, use his intuition, and be able to...
Championships roll on. Ali Najad, Claytano, and Childish ready to bring you the draft in round 2 of this first round matchup between 2Love and Tomato. 2Love up 1-0.
Taking a look already, 2Love not wasting any time with that Tian Lab, but take note, Tomato getting that Amelia out of play, taking the counter picks there. We're going to be seeing a little bit of that. 2Love, of course, answering back with the Ganymede and Wusa combination. I like it. I like it. Clay, what do you think about these last 2 picks here?
I think it's a couple counter picks from 2Love of his own. Of course, we saw Tomato with the Ganymede and Wusa on the first round, and 2Love countering back right away. But we do see the Gianna once more being hovered over right now, not officially locked in, but of course we kind of believe he's going to lock it in here in a second. Tomato, though, showing his own LD monster of his own, which is the Lima there in the bottom right corner. And then we see Ciara, which could potentially be a little bit out of place in this situation, but of course maybe taking the Ciara away from 2Love to have the Gianna-Ciara combination out of play.
Yeah, I'd like that strategy, definitely.
Okeanos for the last and final pick from Tomato. Is he going to lock it in, or is he going to go with something else?
I hope he goes for that, considering that he is bringing two types of strip there by Molong and Lima. I like the choice there. Bring the CC, and let's see what we can do.
Bans out the Gianna once more. Also, Amelia from Tomato gets banned.
And I think we kind of understood that was going to happen, considering the Ganymede, the Hathor, like the passive immunity that he was bringing, like it had to be out of play.
So it is Tomato with his back against the wall in round 2 of this match.
All right,
As we're underway.
Tomato able to land the reset and buff removal from Tianlang, but not really able to do much there. And Lima removing everything from the other 3 monsters, leaving it wide open for Sierra to land a bomb and take out the Ganymede in the first turn, first couple rounds here, leaving Tulov in an extremely difficult situation for the rest of the match here. Is he able to finish off that Molong there, having a little bit less HP than he normally would, of course, using that 3rd skill, Reckless Assault.
A much different start to the match for Tomato in this round.
Yeah, definitely something that we're going to see quite a bit. Avoid that burst damage kind of aspect that some of these comps are going to be bringing. I like the strategy there by Tomato.
Tomato coming out super strong, super confident, and just completely dominating these first couple rounds.
Great choice there, but oh my God, triple stun. Where did that come out of play? Holy cow. I'll tell you what right now, I'm liking that Tianlang all day.
Almost takes out the Hathor. Just one more touch and that'll be down, and
Or 2 more touches.
as he goes down.
There it is, we got it knocked out. Tomatoes, of course, in favor here. 4 monsters to 2. With Molong slept, it looks like he's going to be shifting his target onto Okeanos. Of course, Okeanos get those clutch stunts. 2 stuns to land. Now he's going to have to take a step back. Of course, Tomato having that sustainability. He's looking super good.
And Molong right back in play, doing work.
Man, oh man, I'll tell you what right now, the control of the fight on Tomato's end, taking him out, probably one of our quickest matches thus far.
That was fast, it was confident, and it was strong from Tomato.
I think if you could script a response to what happened in that first round for Tomato, that was pretty much letter for letter. Dominant, like you said, strong, confident, came right out and just never let his foot off the gas. Just no shot there for Tulov right off the bat.
And this is one of those this is one of those people that he has, a lot of people have talked on the side, and Tomato just such a well-rounded player. This is the one that they were worried about coming into this.
And again, it's not something that really relied on luck in that situation as well, like we saw in the first round, being kind of dominated by Tulov, not reliant on luck a whole lot. This one is the same thing, strategy and execution was what won Tomato that round.
And Tomato with that Molong lead pick.
You got to. It's such a contested bomb. You got to do it. And of course, Tulov answering back with the CR. I definitely don't want to have that CR Molong combination in there. Tianlang super, super strong in the situation. Tomato got to definitely take that Amelia. He cannot deny that unit. He has to have it. Of course, Ganymede sitting here, not locked yet. We still got 14 seconds to the side.
Man, both players going back and forth with the picks. One of them takes the enemy the first round, the next one, the other one takes it. And then, of course, Tulov taking the Sierra early so that way he can pair it with Gianna and not give Tomato the opportunity to bring his Sierra, which was a key unit in round 2.
There's a strange essence of calling out your opponent, Childish, when you do that, where you're saying, listen, I saw what you were able to do, but what happens when you don't have that draft? What happens if that's not available? And on top of that, maybe I ban your number 2 as far as most gone to unit or monster.
Yeah, it definitely hurts if they take away a key monster, but again, these are top-notch players, the top regional players across the world. They can make the necessary adjustments if they need be.
But everybody's certainly guilty of having that kind of favorite comp, that favorite build. That, you know, it's that chicken soup. You're comfortable, you know, that's what you go to. Makes you feel like you're in the zone, and when you get pulled out of that zone, sometimes bad things happen. As we go to the 3rd and decisive round between Tomato and Tulov. Can Tulov pull off the upset?
Tulov, of course, getting that first turn, getting that immunity locked in play. We have the immunity in set. It looks like he did get the reset on Molong, which is super clutch. Of course, Molong bringing that burst damage by Reckless Assault. Not going to be able to do anything now as he is stunned. Sitting back.
But don't forget the Ganymede can come right back and reset the Molong, but of course the bomb damage coming in onto Molong from Sierra.
Looking really good. It looks like that ventilate, as you called, Clay, is in. Of course, Molong's health is a little bit low right now, so he's going to have to be concerned about that. He's not going to be able to do as much damage. Of course, Tomatoes were already ahead of that. He has that Perna in play to go ahead and provide that passive heal to keep him at bay.
But it's not even just the third skill that he needed back from Molong. He needed that second skill to remove the immunity and the shield from the Wusa, and you're going to see that here in just a second. But also getting a violent proc from Tianlang, able to land the defense break on the second try, which is really, really important onto that Perna there, one of the main monsters he needs to be worried about.
Definitely, definitely. Of course, yeah, Perna going for that CR, so we gotta figure out a way to keep it locked down as he has currently. We are now sitting to see, trying to get that freeze on Wusa so we can take away that. Wow, he did land it there. The violent proc kicked in, was able to get it done. Now we're switching our efforts on over to possibly CR. The Reckless Assault is in, but the health is not where it needs to be. It needs to be at 70%. There's the violent proc. Is it going to be enough?
He's got the health where it needs to be now. He needs to use that third skill, take out the Sierra, but he decides to go one more time.
One more time. Let's not
play it
rush
safe a little bit, which is perfectly fine. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't lose too much HP on that Molong before he gets off the Reckless Assault.
Much respect. He probably watched that first match with Varian there. Make it so that trying to take a point with that Molong. Don't want to rush it.
Able to get the violent proc from Ganymede and resetting the Wusa, which is extremely important from Tomato, what he needed. And able to take out the Sierra and then focus his sights onto Okeanos.
Yep, and rightfully so. Molong getting the clutch done on Wusa and Okeanos, taking away that crowd control. We did get a couple of one buff from over there, but of course, we still have Amelia with that unique passive, bringing in that immunity. It's going to be able to counteract what they're bringing over there.
And Amelia is so strong, able to provide so much support, also crowd control, and everything that Tomato needs right now, and playing a huge role in this entire match.
Yeah, Okeanos stunned there.
Give credit there to Tomato. He noticed that Okeanos was down. He could have used his Reckless Assault, but he saw him locked down, so he wanted to take a second to wait, possibly save it for that Tianlang, as of course his other units can go ahead and take out Okeanos. No
Showing some of that discipline.
Definitely, definitely.
I think Tomato's kind of feeling pretty good about this one now, having 4 monsters to 2, and those 2 monsters from 2 Love not really having too much that they can do about it.
No, not so much, but of course, he does have that Ganymede sitting there, resetting Perna. Now we're gonna have to wait and see what he can do. The sustainability on Tomato is just super, super strong. Wow.
I mean, the Ganny resetting Perna, the Perna with the passive heal for the Molong. I mean, it's just, what do you do? I mean, you're 2 Love. This is looking pretty bad.
Trying to get that freeze in play on that Tianlang and not able to get it done, of course. Molong is sitting in play. Does he take it out? Yes, he does, and rightfully so. Of course, the HP on Molong is low, but of course, we only have 1 monster on 2 Love's end. It goes to Tomato here.
Listen, Zidal looked good in his round of 16 match against UT play. No doubt about it. Showed some poise, so showed some composure. And he is in the draft now against Tomato, with the first pick going to Tomato, who looks like he's grabbed that Wusa. Am I right?
Yes, it is the Wusa right there. Of course, now we're waiting on Zidal to decide.
Yeah, but again, we've seen the Wusa pick here multiple times, and I think Tomato was actually doing the same thing in his previous matchup against UT play as well. I'm sorry, 2 Love, he was doing the same thing, using that whole Wusa first pick strategy, but looks like Zidal now coming back with the Okeanos.
Yep. And
Ben Ying, possibly. I don't think that's
it's one of the pandas.
Super hard to see on the color adjustments here, but as you guys can see, we have Samantha looking to come on board alongside.
Drum roll, please.
Again, taking his time to make this necessary decision. I like the time set in place.
So Zidal actually going a little bit more YOLO in this situation as well. And I believe that's Tianlang there in the bottom left corner, along with Samath and then Triton, which we don't see a whole lot of, but extremely, extremely useful in RTA as well. If it has its certain place, which having a Wusa in play from Tomato is a really good time
and
to
do we know what Tomato's
Triton.
second picks were there?
Yeah, it is a Molong and Lima
okay.
from Tomato, and then we have the Sierra Ganymede rounding off his top 5.
1 pick left, that belonging to Zidal, staring at the complete comp, choosing to go with
Faye.
And we saw a lot of Faye last matchup with Chuffles, so maybe Zidal taking a small page out of Chuffles' book here, figuring out how he can potentially take down another favorite himself.
Yeah. Zidal's looking really strong with his composition here. He has that Triton that, well, he did have that
banged
Triton,
out, yeah.
But yeah, he was trying to get the first turn. I like the choice here on Tomato, but again, he has a ton of CC, a ton of resets there.
And
of course,
Zidal banning out Sierra for Tomato. As it is time for game one of this quarterfinal matchup between Tomato and Zidal.
looks like Zidal's going to get the first turn, going for the reset on Wusa. Wasn't able to get it, so Tomato puts up the Wish of Immortality, 3-turn immunity, and the shield. It looks like Tian Lang was able to get one stun out of the 4, only a couple of beneficial effects removed. Now we're going to have to wait and see what we got here from Faye. Faye not doing the necessary damage that needed to be in play.
Yeah, Faye is one of those monsters that you kind of gamble on, and if it works like it did with Chuffles, but unfortunately this time it didn't get the damage that he needed, and Tomato now actually bringing it back to Zidal with a couple stuns there from Molong, also resetting the Wusa now to get the immunity and shield right back up to where it needed to be.
Pretty rough when if you're Zidal, you ban out the Sierra and then you're faced with Molong instead. That's pretty daunting.
No longer super rough there. Of course, now we have Zidal trying to work down that Ganymede. Tomato answering back with a Reckless Assault, but unfortunately, he was not able to take it out.
Yeah, Faye just almost gone.
And there it is.
There it is.
Tomato looking really good. Now also landed a reset onto Samath, where if he goes down, he's not going to be coming back, and leaving just the remaining 2 monsters for Zidal with Okeanos and Tianlang may not be enough to take out a fully buffed team from Tomato, and this one might be over really quick.
It's looking to be that way. Tomato trying to work down that Tianlang, putting the reset on himself so he can go ahead and essentially reset Okeanos here, as his third skill is going to be coming up into play. But of course, Zidal answers back, resetting the Ganymede. Now Tomato kind of reset there with the skills, Wish of Immortality. Still trying to work down that Tianlang, doing a little bit of damage, but still not enough. It's okay. Oh, it looks like he did went ahead and end it, so Tomato's going to go ahead and take game 1.
Yeah, Zidal waving the white flag in game 1 in shades of that game 2 against Two Love in the round of 16 with that dominance from Tomato there. As you mentioned, Clay, it looked like it was over pretty early.
Yeah, it was over pretty early, but the confidence level for Tomato, the reason why he might have lost that first match against Two Love, it's just a different setting he's not maybe used to, and just ever since then he's been completely 100% focused.
Looking pretty comfy, no doubt about it, as the first pick this time going to Two Love, who leads with the Wusa. I'm sorry, not Two Love, Zidal, as I'm mixing up Tomato's first round opponent.
And then, of course, we have Tomato putting that Villagel in, but of course, he has not locked it down just yet. We're trying to wait and see who he decides to pair it with. Taking his time.
Zidal actually looking to take away the Wusa from Tomato, and Tomato still saying, okay, well, you can take my Wusa, but I'll take my own immunity buffer of my own with Villagel, along with his trusty Molong pick.
And of course, Tianlang is back at it again. We got the Okeanos in play to provide a little bit more CC. We are now sitting here waiting back to decide what he's going to do. Looks like Ganymede and Lima is coming back out to play.
But Childish, Zidal had this Okeanos Tianlang combo last time around, and it didn't work out so great for him.
It did not, but hopefully he makes the necessary adjustments on the ban phase to go ahead and counteract what happened earlier in the match.
Yeah, it's a little harder to use Tianlang, though, into a Wusa than it is into a Villagel, though, because there's more buffs, there's more things you got to get through in order to land a stun. So he's actually in a little bit better situation in this match than he was last time. But Tomato now coming with the Sierra Ganymede, and an extremely good choice from Zidal. If he locks it in with both of those monsters, I think that's a really, really good option, and he does. So just based off of those 2 monsters being paired together, I don't see any way that Tomato could kind of lock them down, because you have so much immunity from any stuns with the Mei Ho Wang, and then also the buff removal and kind of heal from Rakuni. So this is really good. I actually like Zidal's team a lot more than I like Tomato's team in this situation.
Yeah.
And Tomato rounding out his picks with that 5th. Can you guys see from here?
Yeah, we got Lima, the Light Oracle there. A unit that's going to be providing the strip as well as the cleanse, the invulnerability, and the heal over time.
So if you look at Tomato's team, he has 3 attack bar boosting monsters.
Yep.
And decides not to ban out Tianlang.
That's pretty interesting. I'm surprised he didn't go that route, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
And here we go. It is game 2. Tomato up 1-0. Zidal needs to win here to stay alive.
Zidal trying to get the reset on Lima and was able to do so. Now Tomato won't be able to remove those beneficial effects. We now have Tianlang sitting back here, getting a nice defense break on Lima. Of course, we have to ventilate to reset Lima. Sitting back, waiting to see what he's going to go ahead and do here. It looks like he's going to be bringing the Dragon's Dance back into play. He was able to remove some immunity, but he was not able to get any stuns. Of course, now we got some immunities removed on Tomato's end. He was able to get some dots in play here. Looking pretty good. Of course, we got him sitting back, trying to get that CR knocked out of play. Sitting there with some low health. Everyone's focused on, despite the elemental disadvantage, they're trying to take out that CR. Can they get it done?
And a violent proc from Lima just to save the Sierra as soon as he needed it saved, giving Tomato a little bit of an advantage in this one now. Just like that, the Tianlang there with a ton of dots.
Tomato trying to sit back to see what he's going to do. He has that bomb available. He's going to put it on Wusa, but he's not going to go ahead and launch it just yet. He's going to take his time as his Lima now prepares to try to work down that Okeanos.
Yeah, there's no reason to detonate the bomb just yet. Give yourself a little bit extra attack bar, more turns, more bombs, and as long as he doesn't have the Wusa at the lowest HP out of all the monsters, there's not going to be any way that the Rakuni is going to be able to remove that bomb.
Zidal's trying to do a little bit more damage on the Sierra. He has
up. Exactly right, yeah. Boost up the Tianlang there, give yourself another chance, and then hopefully he can get a turn in, but he wasn't able to. He could have taken out the Sierra, but he did opt to instead boost up the Tianlang. Is he going to be able to take down the Sierra?
It's going to be really, really close there, Clay. Of course, Tomato answering back with the start and end skill, the invulnerability and the hit point disturb. Wusa almost taken out there by that bomb, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the job done here. Super, super low on health, so he does get, he does not get a chance to finish it off. Villaggio did not do enough damage there.
Wusa hanging in there.
Hanging in there real, real strong. The bomb is in, and Rakuni is not down just yet, but the additional turn almost got him out.
Still not down.
Unbelievable. Again, that Lima just being able to get that skill back up into play with the Ganymede. He was able to take out that Rakuni. Of course, now leaving that Wusa aside, he was able to bring up the Wish of Immortality, giving a little bit more sustain on Zidal's end. We have Villaggio answering back, taking out the Wusa. Now trying to make his efforts on towards Okeanos.
Things not looking good for Zidal here.
Not at all, but hopefully he can turn it around.
Especially with his back against the wall right now, already being down 1-0. Able to get a third skill off from Okeanos, lands it on all 4 monsters and takes down Sierra, which is exactly what Zidal needed if he has any chance to get back into this game. But Tomato comes right back with a seal magic from Ganymede.
And with the reset in play on Okeanos, it's going to be really, really hard to dip back, as you say, Clay. Looks like he's trying to take away that Ganymede. Didn't get the Violent Proc to try to take him out. Looks like the Ventilate is in, and the Sanctuary is back into play, given that immunity on his end. So that now Zidal has to have to sit back and wait for his second skill to be available, the Dragon's Dance. Trying to get a couple hits, but of course we cannot do anything there with the start and end. And it looks like Tomato was able to take it down, a 2-0
at the booth, and it is time for our very first semifinal matchup between Chuffles and Tomato. First pick going to Chuffles and the draft underway, boys.
All right, Chuffles definitely locks down that Wusa. Now we have Tomato sitting back, bringing in that CR and Ganymede. Chuffles going to be taking his time now, sitting back, as you can kind of see. He's really, really thinking about this one, trying to decide what to do. Obviously, CR, an amazing pick for him, but it has been taken away.
I could see him going with a Perna pick here. He definitely likes to use that Perna, and there it is, along with the Bella Jewel here with a double immunity right off the bat.
I like the approach right there. Now we have Tomato trying to decide what he wants to do, bringing in that Lima, the Light Oracle.
But it kind of goes back to what we were saying previously with Tomato taking some of the monsters that Chuffles has. He did go with the Sierra first pick against Chuffles, which is a monster that Chuffles actually uses quite a bit, and we saw him use against his last matchup between Barian as well. But Chuffles now coming in with the Ethna and Jamire pick.
Jamire, very unique monster there. The Wind Dragon being able to reset all skills for all the players in the play. So interesting pick. Of course, we have Perna that can come into play there. If they focus down Perna, he can use Jamire to reset, or combine that with Wusa to get that immunity up, or Velador. I mean, a lot of things are coming into play here.
It's also a speed leader with Tomato taking his Pride and Joy Sierra there. Instead of going with Faye this time, he actually decides to go with Jamire, which we don't see hardly ever. I don't think we've seen a Jamire pick in the entire World Finals so far. But we're going to get to see what Chuffles can make with him today. And Tomato actually decides, nope, we're not going to get to see Jamire.
I really wanted to see it.
I'm going to ban you out.
But do you think that ban is a function of just, whoa, this is too much of a curveball for me to allow it through, or I understand the implications of letting it through?
Maybe a little bit of both. Of course, Chuffles is definitely got a couple things up his sleeve. Definitely a super analytical player, of course. So with having a Jamire pick, there's probably some strategy behind it.
So here we go, Chuffles and Tomato squaring off in the semis.
Looks like Tomato was able to get that reset on Wusa and reduce the attack bars. Now we got Chuffles trying to answer back with the stun. It looks like he did get it down. Of course, Lima being able to throw it back and remove the immunity. And now we have Molong sitting back, waiting to the side. Of course, Yan Hong is up now. Looks like he's trying to get that Lima back into play. Let's cleanse the Ganymede. Let's get him back into the mix. Of course, now we have the Chatter. Despite the fact that he cannot do any damage, he wants to increase that attack bar with that Ethna second skill. Looks like Tomato is seeing a target and wants to work it down, that Ethna. Of course, now Chuffles taking his time trying to get that stun on Molong, and he was able to do so. Take note that the stun was in play before the skill ended, making note that he does have a spare stun on it. So really, really unique build. Something that we've seen Chuffles really utilize in a lot of his compositions today. Of course, the Charge Vitality is in, and what a perfect monster to pick it with. Mr. Molong getting that health up so we can use a Reckless Assault. It is in, and he does take down Ethna. Now we're sitting here, Tomato in favor, 4 monsters to 3. What do you think now, Clay?
I think it's going to be tough for Chuffles to get back into things. He's got to deal with the Ganymede. He actually has to deal with a lot of monsters before he can say that he's back into this match. As far as what I would be doing with Chuffles right now, I would focus in on one monster, try to lock it down, but without a defense break, that Perna is not going to be really doing a whole lot of damage. And Tomato having a violent Lima. Also, as he talked about, maybe a swift Yan Hong.
Correct. As he puts the Molong to sleep.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of sustainability from Tomato that Chuffles might not be able to deal with.
And actually, we just saw right there an additional turn on the Yan Hong, so it is currently on a violent set. It may have been a swift set early on. Maybe he made some necessary adjustments with the rules.
Certainly within the tournament rules, as we've discussed, players are granted the latitude to make some adjustments to the way they rune out their characters in between matches.
Yeah, and it also may have been Charlotte X that was having the swift Yan Hong, so we may have got them confused there. But now down goes the skills on the Perna, and Chuffles resigns the first game here, and we're on to game 2. But it is best of 5 for the semifinals.
I'll tell you what, for the casual viewer, when you see the kind of that 4-3 advantage and a resignation from the guy with the 3 monsters, you're thinking, well, wait a minute, you might have been able to come back. But this is just a testament to the awareness that these players have about, the situation. If it's mission impossible by and large, there's no amount of RNG that can get you back into it. That's when you kind of tap out. So Chuffles finds himself in the unenviable situation of being down 1-0. But it is important to mention, now that we are in the semifinals, we talked about it earlier, neglected to remind you, it is best of 5 moving forward from here. So his back not up against the wall, Tomato needs to win 2 more games before he closes out. And Shuffle's going to make some adjustments here as he takes the Wusa Etna. Is that the...
Yep. Wusa, Ethna, and Tomato, again, going with the first pick, Sierra, to take that away from Chuffles.
Following up with the Molong.
Followed up with Molong, Lima, and then Chuffles now picking the Jamire once again, along with Leica. So he may be going to try to outspeed him.
Well, what was Shuffle's biggest issue in that first game?
There was a
Too
couple
much
things,
sustainability for Tomato? Was it more across the aisle, or was it...
Not enough sustainability on Chuffles' team, too much sustainability on Tomato's team, not enough damage, and then the Perna getting locked down, being able to get reset. There was a few things that...
When we talk about sustainability, certainly the Ganymede showing up there for Tomato.
Yeah, but of course now Tomato's going to be at a situation here. Jameer was one that he banned before, but of course now Chuffles is bringing in Leo, the Wind Dragon Knight, being able to kind of counteract those speeds, given the first turn to potentially reduce the attack power on a unit, and then of course lead off with another one of his faster monsters.
Do you like this comp adjustment out of Chuffles, Clay?
It's okay. I would actually rather see Chuffles go back to his YOLO approach that took him 2-1 against Barian, and just kind of roll the dice. Put the Fae back in there. Just go for it.
As we saw his Leo get banned. And here he is down 1-0, taking his chances with this comp. Up against Tomato, who gets the first turn.
Taking advantage of the fact that Shuffles doesn't have any will on that, and rightfully so. When you're ruining up certain units that you want to have the first turn, you sometimes put aside the will to get as much speed as possible. Now we have him sitting back, trying to put that bomb into play. He's going to go ahead and dent in, try to get the sun on Ethna. Ethna almost taken out, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so. Now Jameer has come into play using that AoE reset to get Musa a chance to get up that immunity.
Yeah, but a ton of damage coming from that single bomb, even without attack power boost on the Sierra. Almost completely destroying the Ethna. Here comes the second skill from Lima. Not doing as much as Tomato would have liked to see, but should still be in a good situation here.
Yeah, just keep on working down that Ethna. We'll have to see where it goes. It looks like he's going to go ahead and bring Leica's attack bar down and reset his skill. That Justice doing a ton of damage as the game progresses, and as Shuffles loses monsters. The Reckless Assault is in, and a nice combination to take note there. Lima having that vulnerability on Molong doesn't allow Molong to actually lose any health, so it keeps Molong a little bit live in the play. Really, really nice teamwork there. Waiting for that immunity, or excuse me, the invulnerability to be teamed up with that Reckless Assault. Of course, now we're sitting back here. We're trying to get the Dragon stance into play. We got the immunity set in place. Looks like the reset comes along on Lima. Shuffles is now anxiously waiting to try to get this attack break in. He was able to get it in both on Ganymede and Sierra. But of course now, Lima being able to cleanse it and provide that invulnerability is putting Tomato at obviously a really, really good advantage here, Clay.
Yeah, just the violent rune set and how fast that Lima is, how many turns it takes. Seems like there's always some sort of heal going on, some sort of invincibility, and it's just really giving Tomato a huge advantage in this entire game so far. Jamire not really doing a whole lot, so maybe going into the next round, Chuffles might try to rethink what he's looking to do.
Yeah. And he's going to have to take this time to really think about it, because again, he's down 2-0. This is it. If Tomato takes the win, he's going to be moving on to the finals.
And this is where really Chuffles can go for broke, can he not? I mean, there's no point in trying to be conservative at this point, is there?
At this point, you're down 2-0. You've tried one thing twice already. It hasn't worked. You got the Sierra first pick this time. Maybe looking to bring out the Frigate and Fae once again. Just go for it.
And Tomato wasting no time snatching the Wusa along with the Ganymede. But while he led with the Sierra, Chuffles following it up with more of the same.
Yeah, and this is pretty interesting. He hasn't really kind of laid out exactly what he's trying to do just yet. But again, that Jameer being in that second round of picks is pretty curious to see what he decides to do for these final ones.
Emilia Perna, the answer from Tomato to the Ethna Jameer. And now a Chilling showing up for Chuffles, so.
A good choice there, considering you have two monsters on Tomato's end that provide all the immunity. while Chilling can take away the buffs, if he leaves Amelia in play, Amelia's still going to get those the immunity back in. Of course, now we're sitting there with Annabelle locked down, and now we're deciding what we're going to go ahead and do for the bans. Both gentlemen taking their time on this one, as is definitely a hard one to do, especially on Chuffles' end, as this is game 3.
If I were Chuffles here, I'd probably take out either the Ganymede or the Diana, but I would say Ganymede.
He goes for the Diana. And then, of course, we got Tomato taking out the Chilling. He wants to be able to keep that immunity. I like that choice.
So a must-win situation for Chuffles, who's in a 2-0 hole in this first best-of-5 semifinal against Tomato, who's looking to lock up a trip to the finals and $10,000 minimum in prize money. Here we go.
It looks like we were able to get a clutch reset there on Ethna, as she did not have any will. Of course, the immunity is now in play by means of Wusa. It looks like now we got, of course, Jameer resetting everybody so that he can go ahead and get that skill back into play. Looks like Tomato's trying to go ahead and recycle those skills. Wants to get the immunity and possibly that defensive buff up, giving him a little bit more sustainability to combine alongside with the shield. But no, he actually opts for the damage on Ethna.
And huge damage coming in from that Perna onto Ethna, taking out almost 50% of the HP there, just leaving it with a couple thousand HP left. But here we go, Capture comes down onto the Ganymede, gets the clutch stun that he's looking for, able to land the bomb now, and he'll probably detonate it, absolutely, because he has that Amelia he has to worry about, of course.
Yep, definitely. Looks like Annabelle's going to come into play, getting everybody back to square one with the heals. We now have Tomato's Amelia, provided that defensive buff.
You can just see how powerful that Amelia is, just removing any sort of harm from Ganymede, bringing it back to the game, and then now we're starting to finish off the Ethna with Tomato's Wusa.
Looks like Chuffles does have a revenge set on that time, paired up with the Despair set, trying to get those clutch stuns, but of course the immunity was in play for Tomato's side. He wasn't able to get that stun. Ethna has been locked down. Now we're trying to sit back to see what Chuffles wants to do. He's trying to work on that Ganymede, sitting at about 50% health. However, Wusa brings up his shield, and Perna knocks out that unit. Now we have Tomato sitting really, really strong right now. 4 monsters to 3. This is going to be interesting to see what Chuffles decide to do.
There's not really much that Chuffles can do. He doesn't have enough sustain. He has a Jameer there that's not really doing anything for his team other than resetting a couple times. But with the immunity that Tomato has on the rest of his 4 monsters with Amelia and Wusa, he can't get in there with his Sierra to even land a couple bombs if he does get reset from Jameer.
Right. It's a really hard situation, even from the earlier start of that pick and ban phase. Even if you remove Amelia, you still have to deal with the Wusa on the immunity. So Tomato knows exactly what Shuffle's strengths are and is using it to his advantage right now. And we're sitting back here trying to work down that Annabelle just a little bit. Doing some good damage on the CR. Is going to get the additional turn on Wusa. Wasn't able to get it done, but still working him down. Of course, we're going to try to get that Seal Magic on Ciara to reset her skills. It looks like Jameer's going to go ahead and answer right back.
And Perna trying to take out that Sierra, gets it down to just a sliver of health left, unable to do so, just kind of keeping Chuffles in the game just to fight another minute here. Once that Sierra goes down, though, there's not much that Chuffles will be able to do for the rest of this tournament.
And Chuffles kind of smiling. I think he recognizes the situation at hand. Almost seems entertained by Tomato's proficiency.
Yeah, he's just taking way too many turns, and Chuffles unable to break in between the immunity on Tomato's team.
Chuffles trying to work
a violent proc right here.
Here comes the big damage by Perna, and does take out Ciara. Nice play there.
It's a wrap, boys.
Pretty much.
It is a wrap. Tomato looking super strong, though. 3 games to 0, a clean sweep.
Different regionals to land today here in the Microsoft Theater in the beautiful Los Angeles, California. We whittled it down to 16 players, and grueling battle after battle, they fought to call themselves champions, but now only 2 remain. The grand finals has come, and let's introduce our players. Player number 1, it is going to be the #1 ranked RTA player in the world. It's going to be Tomato! Dropping only 1 match throughout the entire tournament, he is geared up and ready to rock and roll. But he has an opponent before him. It is going to be the New York Regional Champion, Sai! The passion and dedication of Sai has brought him to this very moment. And now, with only 2 players left remaining, we're ready to go. The stage is set, the summoning platform is warmed up. It is time for the grand finals of the 2017 Summoners War World Arena Championship.
Indeed, to determine which of these 2 players is going to walk away with $20,000 or just 10. Either way, certainly a great outcome, but as we've talked about, it is the prestige of being the first ever Summoners War World Champion that hangs in the balance. A priceless title. One of one, so to speak.
As we saw before early on, they did not mention anything about the money. The respect of having the title is everything.
And it is best of 5, just like in the semifinals, and the trophy is in place as if you needed any more motivation. A nice little laugh being shared between Tomato and Sai there right before getting down to business. And that's exactly what Sai did just moments ago, getting through Shallot, certainly demonstrating that he knows how to make the proper adjustments and move forward. Tomato, meanwhile, a buzzsaw through Chuffles. 3-zip was his victory. And the first pick will go to Tomato as we get the grand finals underway. Here's the draft. And it looks like Ganymede, the first pick out of Tomato.
Yeah, immediately we see that Ganymede pick from Tomato, taking away the main core monster from Sai, and now he can't do either of the 2 things that he's looking to do, which is 1, do a speed comp, and 2, have that sustainable, kind of a little bit more conservative comp with Ganymede Mo Long. So that's an extremely, extremely smart choice from Tomato starting off this championship game.
Childish, he does reach for the Mo Long, however, as his first pick.
Sai reaches for the Mo on the first pick, and then of course he's going to be bringing in that beta, yes. And of course we got Tomato locking down the CR and the Amelia. Sai looking to answer back with the Diana, the Wind Unicorn, the unit that we've seen time and again, and get those clutch and violent procs, those additional turns by means of its second skill, Inevitable Wound. Pretty unique unit indeed.
The Artemil follow-up.
We see a lot of the same monsters from Sai that we saw in the second round from the previous match against Shallot X. Tomato coming out with the Tianlang and Perna.
But hasn't locked it down just yet, taking his time, and rightfully so. This is the final match, game number 1.
That's a pretty solid looking build out from Tomato there as the Okeanos rounds out Sai's 5-some, and it's time for the bands, boys.
This is a hard one on my end as far as Sai goes, but
well, easier for Tomato to pick then? Who's he getting rid of?
I
would say Tomato should get rid of the Mo Long.
Yeah.
Mo Long looks pretty clutch here.
Yep, sure enough.
And Tianlang, yeah, definitely take him out.
Tianlang is a direct counter towards Artemil as well, as I know firsthand. It's not fun to play against Tianlang with Artemil.
So no pandas in this zoo as we are ready to get game 1 of this best of 5 final underway.
Looks like we have Tomato that was able to go ahead and get that beta reset. Of course, we got Sai answering back with his own reset on the CR, so of course CR cannot use his bomb on beta to stun her down. Looks like Tomato's going to go ahead and bring it back to it here. Getting into that second skill. Is he going to put his defensive buff up just yet? No, he's going to get the freeze, and he lands it on Artemil. That is going to be clutch here. Again, guys, that unit can stun with his passive there, be able to counterattack, and so having that ability to have him locked down early on is really, really nice. The buff removal, the stun mechanic, super strong on Artemil's side. And we got him waiting back to see what he's going to go ahead and do. Looks like Okeanos could potentially stun 2 units, and he does get it down. locking down the Ganymede and the Perna. Super clutch. Of course, Amelia is able to follow through, cleanse everything, and bring Tomato back to square one.
And that's what makes her so useful in countering those moments for Tomato.
Definitely.
It's almost not even fair with the Amelia there. Anytime a stun comes down, it just completely removes it and negates it. But here comes the bomb down onto Diana, unable to detonate it.
Should Sai be focusing in on the Amelia then?
It's a really tough monster to focus in on because it's so tanky and then also gains the defense buff as well.
There we go, and it looks like now we have Sai's Okeanos ready to go. He could
Sai
potentially...
needs to reset that Perna.
Yeah, he needs to get it right now. He has to go for it. It's going to be real clutch.
Says a quick prayer and gets it done exactly what he needed to do. And
Looks like he tried to get a stun there on Ganymede, switching it up. Wasn't able to get it done, but of course the ventilator's in, getting Perna back in the mix. We got a clutch freeze by Amelia, locking down the beta, not able to put up her immunity. Of course, we got Sai trying to work it down despite the fact that he just lost a monster.
okay,
Diana had the bomb looming for so long. Now the 4-3 edge to Tomato, who loses the Perna, but right back up, pops.
Wow, an amazing turn of events there with that bomb. Of course, 4-2. It looks like he gets to go ahead and concede, and Tomato takes game one.
What's the takeaway there if you're Sai?
if you're Sai, be careful about the Amelia.
Yeah, I think that ban process, like we were talking about the Tian Lang, maybe could he potentially gone for the Amelia? Might have been a better choice there considering his lineup.
And also, I would say that the first pick that he's going to get this time is going to be that Ganymede. He's going to take it. And then I think this whole entire World Finals is going to be based on that Ganymede first pick.
Yeah.
Certainly a popular monster, and sure enough, there is the Ganny. The reply from Tomato, a Sierra, and Molong.
Two units that you don't want to see get past the ban phase, but we'll have to see what Tomato goes ahead and play out for the remainder of his units.
Sai does have the opportunity now to go with the more speed clump that he's been using so far, and he does lock it in. Super exciting to see the Tiana and Bastet drop down along with the Ganymede as well. Now Tomato scrambling to figure out how he wants to counter it. Does bring in the Diana, which is exactly how he was beat before.
Okeanos, the other pick.
Yeah, but he hasn't locked it down just yet. I think he's going to go ahead and lock it down, though.
Indeed he does, and it's a Tableau Samath follow-up.
Definitely.
Tableau Oberon follow-up, which Sai said that has been completely invincible in the past. He does have to absolutely ban out the Leo, and Tomato actually bans out the Oberon, so that just leaves the Sai's team so fast, so able to cycle and lock down Tomato's team if he can get that first.
So based on the build-out then, I get the sense that you like Sai's setup.
And he got the resistance though from the Okeanos, which puts Sai in a huge advantage for the rest of this fight. He should be able to lock it down and just work away at everybody here without having too much to worry about.
And the look said it all, didn't it? Childish Tomato just backed away from the iPad, rolled his eyes, Sai with a big old smile on his face.
It definitely did, and as you saw, Sai didn't even go for his third skill waste, but he wanted to get some defense breaks in and potentially make it a little bit easier for him to wear him out. So if Tomato wants to come back, it's going to be kind of hard to land those skills because those lancing debuffs is super, super strong in this game. Something that gets underestimated way too much.
And Okeanos throwing the defense break right back onto Tiana. Unfortunately, that was the one thing that Sai was really hoping that would stay on the Okeanos.
Looks like he gets his Tableau into play. Tableau, one of the units that recently got changed.
So much damage coming in for that Tiana, taking out a huge chunk of the Molong and the Sierra. Now we get to reset the Diana with Ganymede as well. Just finish off either the Sierra or the Molong, and
oh, there it is. The additional turn from Tableau, turning it around a little bit here. Of course, he was not able to get that second skill into play, so he's going to have to wait it out. Tiana trying to work out that damage, and take note on that damage. 12K Clay was able to take it out. That attack buff with the Tiana stats on there. The runes are pretty OP.
Molong out of the picture.
Wow.
Violent proc from Sai. He knows that he needed it. Of course, he got a little lucky there, but Looks like this second match may very easily go to Sai just because a couple different things here.
Unbelievable. Looks like he's going to continue to work on that. And yet again, another violent proc there on Tableau. Unbelievable. Look at that. As you can see there, he's laughing about it. He just can't believe how lucky he's been getting with that.
Well, I guess you laugh when you're on that side of the equation, because it certainly was a nice spot to be in for Sai. And, you know, these two guys understand RNG certainly part of the game, not going to point to that as the exclusive reason behind the result in that game there, but didn't help Tomato's causes one bit as we are level at 1 game apiece. And the first pick will be Tomatoes this time, and in comes the Ganymede right away.
Absolutely, but
I feel like we're going to see the Ganymede first pick throughout. There's no chance it's not going to happen.
every single time.
Every single time.
And then a Molong reply from Sai, but what is he going to pair it with? Without that Ganymede available, that would be his #1 go-to 1-2 punch.
He's taking his time about it. Possibly, yeah, there we go. Diana, the Wind Unicorn.
Now, why not block the Sierra?
I was thinking he was actually going to go for Sierra.
Yeah.
I ain't going to lie. But he does get the Diana, so again.
Well, now he leaves the Sierra for Tomato, coupled with the Ganymede and the Amelia, if he locks it down.
Taking his time.
He does.
Looks like he's going to be bringing in that Artemil. Just an amazing monster, but of course, Amelia in play. It's going to be able to keep that immunity at bay. We'll have to see what Sai decides to do, considering what Tomato will line up for the last 2 picks. Of course, we're still on Sai's second round of picks. He hasn't locked it down, just that he has 5 seconds to decide, and he does bring in Okeanos here.
And I would assume with the Artemil now, you're going to see Tomato bring out that Tianlang once again, just to bait the ban. You can almost never let the Tianlang through, but he decides not to do it, so we could potentially see the Artemil being banned from Sai's group.
The Perna Wusa, perhaps, from Tomato?
So he does switch it out and go with Tianlang instead here.
So he's drawn the band effectively.
Yep.
And actually is rethinking his whole entire strategy now, going with the Tsarian, because he knows he has to ban either one of the two. So if he lets Tianlang through, then he's going to have a tough time. And then if he lets Tsarian through, he's also going to have a tough time. So really, really good strategy from Tomato, trying to outplay that Artemil.
It looks like Sai tries to answer back with the Annabelle, bringing the cleanse. If he lets, maybe he's saying something there. If he lets Tsarian through, use the cleanse from Annabelle to get him back in there.
And sure enough, the Tianlang, the ban from Sai, and the Molong, the ban from Tomato. So you like the way that Annabelle matches up with the Tsarian?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, Annabelle's just an amazing monster all across the board there. The cleanse, the heal, the additional turns on the first kill, the defense break, super, super strong.
Great support character, no doubt, as we are underway in Game 3 of the Grand Finals, level at 1 game apiece.
Sai was trying to take down that Sierra, was able to remove the will, but not the reset here. So now we got the bomb into play. Of course, Artemil being a defense scaling unit, Sierra's going to be able to ignore the defense and do some damage. Almost taking him out, but not just yet. It looks like the shield is back in from Diana, so now it's going to be able to keep him a little bit alive, but I'm kind of worried here at the fact that he's still super, super low. I think he'll be able to, oh, no, it looks like that Annabelle, the unit that we were looking at for the last pick, is able to get it done, getting the cleanse, getting the heal, bringing Artemil back in the mix here. Now we have Tomato sitting back with his Ganymede. He has an opportunity to reset. Who is he going to reset? He does go for the CR, and rightfully so. We have no immunity here, so he's potentially going to be able to lock one of these units down. Of course, though, we have 1 stun into play. Interesting, considering that there was already immunity on all 3 units there, Clay?
Yeah, because he had the Amelia there to provide that for him. But here goes the bomb from Sierra onto Artemil. Is he going to be able to take it down? He does, and that puts Tomato extremely in advantage here for this 3rd game.
Looks like he's taking his time now, Sai, trying to decide what to do. He's getting a nice stun there on the Ganymede. Looking like he's going to switch it up here. Is it time for inevitable wound? It is. Taking those buffs away and generating the attack bar here. As you can see, Diana is getting ready to go next. More than likely going to be able to cycle through the skills once again to get that skill up.
he needed to get the defense break onto one of those monsters. He just needed one of them. He didn't get any. So the luck that Sai had in the last game, not necessarily going his direction now in this game. Of course, the Sierra now dropping the bomb onto Annabelle. And is he going to be able to reset the Sierra?
Yes, he
does
is.
get it down, so that should give Annabelle enough time to actually cleanse it up, and it does.
Yeah. And I feel like Sai's going to be looking to turn it back around, potentially taking away that Amelia. If he can cycle through the second skill and get an inevitable wound to take it out, it looks like he's going for it, and he takes it out. Unbelievable.
And Annabelle, the key to leveling the playing field now, despite him being in the early hole.
Oh, here we go.
Violent proc from Diana, leading straight into another inevitable wounds here. Is he going to be able to take down the Ganymede? Not quite enough damage, but he'll probably get it in the next turn or so here, but definitely much needed violent proc from Sai.
It looks like Sai missed the, or correction, Tomato missed the Oblivion proc on the Diana. Now, of course, Diana is sitting back, waiting to go. Didn't get the stun that she needed, but of course, Okeano's able to follow through. Not enough damage, unfortunately, and now we have Tomato trying to work down that Diana once again. Annabelle misses the sleep, but now it's back up onto Tomato. Still trying to get that Diana down. Super, super strong, but almost there. Wasn't able to get it done, but hold on a minute. Can he get the triple stun? No, he wasn't able to do so, so Ciara is now going to be able to take out Diana. Attack power is up by 30%, so he's going to be able to do a ton of damage, taking it out. The additional turn is in, the bomb is set in place, and now the promised time that we've all grown to love. Taken away, Annabelle, unbelievable turn of events here. Tomato is looking really, really good.
Yeah, definitely
Pendulum
seals the deal,
back
but
into his favor,
it's not over yet. It's not over yet. We could see Okeanos come back here if he can get a full stun on it. It's extremely, extremely difficult, but Tomato looking at the violent procs now coming in from both Tessarian and Sierra, and it's not looking good now for Sai going into game 4.
Wow. You said it best there, Ali, just swinging back and forth on the pendulum. Unbelievable turn of events there.
Well, Tomato, to be fair, looked like he had the early advantage, and then it was Annabelle that allowed Sai to come back and seemed like the playing field was level, but then pendulum swung right back into Tomato's corner in that pivotal game 3 in our best of 5, and Tomato is now just 1 game away from being your Summoners War champion as Sai leads with the Ganymede. What do you think, a little Molong Sierra follow-up, perhaps?
Sounds pretty standard. We'll have to wait and see, though.
There's the Sierra. Okeanos.
Okeanos. A clutch unit over
Now that leaves the Molong for Sai here, and he loves that 1-2 combo, does he not?
Yes, it does, and it also leaves the cleave composition open for Sai as well. But it looks like he is going to play a little bit more conservatively in this final game here. Hopefully not for him, but...
Tomato wasting no time with the Wusa Diana answer to the Molong Amelia. It's almost as though he wasn't bothered one bit, knew exactly where Sai was going to go there. And had his strat planned as the Artemil.
It's a solid composition coming from Sai here. Definitely a smart choice on the ban on Tessarian, and this could be in Sai's favor for sure. I definitely like the monsters that Sai is bringing into this much more than the Tomato picks were.
Was it the Fire Monkey King that he let through there?
Yes, he did.
When I say he, I'm referring to Tomato, of course. As you're saying you like Sai's comp as we head into this 4th game. Sai's back up against the wall.
It looks like he has a decision to make. Is he going to go ahead and reset Okeanos? Or nope, he's going to go ahead and reset Molong here. But of course, that Sierra was able to cut in between, put the bomb on Mihao Wang. Now we're sitting back to see what he's going to do with the Artemil. Does he try to go for an immunity removal? I believe he needs to. He does try to get it on Diana, but wasn't able to do so. Of course, Molong able to follow through, get a couple of immunity removes, but only 1 stun on Okeanos. Now we have Mihao Wang set into play, doing a nice defense break that's going to really pale well in this particular matchup.
Needs to get that Okeanos down just enough to leave it available for the reckless assault here. Coming in from Molong, able to seal the Diana.
Was able to get that immunity removal on the Artemil, or correction on the Sierra. Looks like he's now working down the Okeanos. Diana sitting back trying to get the stun on Molong, wasn't able to do so. And on both ends, Artemel wasn't able to get that counterattack to land that stun. It looks like he's going to try to get for Okeanos here on that reckless assault and wasn't able to take it out. Tons of damage, but left him alive.
That's all right, though. That's a ton of damage from Sai, leaving the Okeanos in a very difficult situation, obviously. But the fact that Mei Huang actually was able to survive that bomb puts Sai in a really good position. Except there goes the Sierra just saying, nope, I'm not going to let you stay around for much longer here. Diana now making quick work of them along as well.
I'll tell you what.
And that felt like where most of the damage was coming from.
Absolutely.
In Sai's comp, it's just now been neutralized as he's down 2 to 3. Is the Ganymede Artemil combo enough?
It potentially could be if he was able to get the correct skills to land.
Right, and of course it's going to be a little bit harder right now with that immunity in play. That's more buffs that he's going to have to remove. He cannot land those clutch stuns when the counterattack comes into play. He's sitting there trying to wait back here. Ganymede also able to reduce some buff removal, but wasn't able to do so. That one there that we did get to see, it got the immunity out of the way and did get the stun. Now, of course, he has to wait and see what he wants to do. He is trying to get that immunity off of Wusa and was able to do so. Of course, now Tomato's able to follow back. His skills are all available, so he switches to that human form if he wants to get into the inevitable wound, and he does, getting a good amount of damage on it, but not enough to take it out. And we get a nice stun by the Artemil on sides end, locking down the Diana. Looks like now we have the sealed magic into play, getting the stun, or getting the reset. Let's see how.
Not enough damage there from the bomb to kill the Artemil, so it does leave Sai to live once again. Now, don't count Sai out just yet. The Artemil is definitely known to do a lot of damage here going into the late game because he still has all that defense as well.
Yeah, but again, Sai taking a good point here, trying to reset that Wusa, taking away that immunity that Artemil can bring.
I think that Diana's going to be able to kill the Artemil here. If he does, he would be able to take it out, but Artemil stays around for another turn. And I don't believe Wusa's going to be able to take it out either.
Oh my gosh, so close, so much anticipation. Is this going to be it?
If he kills Artemil.
Yep. I like the choice there on Tomato, switching for that second skill so he can do the necessary damage that needs to be done and not waste any time. He does take it out. Now we have the winner.
And just like that, losing Artemil, Sai concedes. And that means that Tomato, your pre-tournament favorite, is our first ever Summoners War World Arena Champion. $20,000 richer is the #1 man in RTA as we send it down to Kelly.
Thank you so much. Tomato, starting all the way from the regionals, becoming the first ever world champion. How does it feel?
你现在什么感觉呢？
Oh, so exciting because Sai is super good player. I think this is a very tough game. I'm lucky and can beat him.
Is there anything you want to say to the audience and all the fans watching at home?
Pardon?
Is there anything you want to say to the audience and the fans watching at home?
No.
I mean, a few words. I like it. Everyone, give it up for Tomato. Casters, what do you think of this tournament?
I gotta say, Kelly, Bill, everybody that's been a part of this thing, we've had the privilege of bringing you regional coverage in assembling the 16 players that we brought here to the finals. And I think without question, the right people made their way here to LA and represented, and we whittled down to a very deserving champion. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, and not only do we whittle it down, but we also had extremely exciting games and matches throughout the entire way and brought a lot of entertainment for not only myself, but also the viewers out there watching, as well as the players, giving them a whole new experience for Summoners War.
No doubt about it. And there's that handsome hardware. Childish Sai really brought it as well. Made things entertaining, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did, and he made the necessary adjustments that we saw from the previous regional. So again, Sai, I gotta give it to him. Despite the fact he didn't take the win, he really turned it up a notch, and unfortunately it wasn't enough to take down the win.
Certainly going to be earning a very well-earned $10,000 for his second place effort as we send it back down for the payouts. It is $1,000 for 5th through 16th place. Officially third and third, Chuffles and Shallot, each earning $5,000. And as we just mentioned, 10 grand for Cy. But the real story, the $20,000 that Tomato is going to be taking home. And when he was asked, what would you do with the prize money? Tomato said that he thinks people are here for the love of the game, not for the prize, and it would pay off his round trip flight. So, you know, a man who's practical and economical, no doubt about that. And gentlemen, any closing thoughts here as we wind down the very first Summoners War World Arena Championship?
I just think it's awesome that you say the very first, because that means that there's going to be a lot more to come, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future. All the new faces potentially that we could see, all the new units and components that we can see being created throughout the world of Summoners War. And it's going to be awesome. What do you think, Childish?
I think the same, but I just want to give a big shout out to everybody, not that's just here in the stage, all the fans, the people that have been supporting across the world, watching us together. Thank you guys so much for your support. Everything that has come to this day after 3 years and all the new things that are going to be coming in 2018, I couldn't be more grateful for this opportunity.
This game would not be what it is without the support of everybody in the community who has genuinely turned it into a phenomenon. And now we've got the MMORPG and the comic animation stuff on deck. And before we say goodbye to you all, let us check in one last time to see whether or not we are going to be giving away that Devilmon as the hashtag initiative. SWC 2017 has already earned people a whole host of goodies, and I'm being told we did defeat the world boss, so everybody who participated is going to be picking up a Devilmon in addition to everything else we gave away here. What a wonderful way to put a punctuation point on an exciting night here at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. All right, so guys, how do you want to say goodbye? I hate to do it, it's that time.
Oh man, well at least I got my Devilmon, so I'm happy. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching, coming out, enjoying the stream, enjoying this amazing Microsoft Theater that we're at today. And I couldn't ask for two better commentators to bring this event to you guys as well.
Likewise.
I think you took all the words away from me, Clay. But on the real here, I want to give a big shout out to all the sponsors out there, everybody that's still to play. We got Google Play in the mix here. I thank you guys so much for your support. This has been simply amazing.
On behalf of Bill, Kelly, Shredded, Koopa, all of our influencers, all of our competitors from the regionals, all the way through to here on the in the finals. I gotta say, it has been an absolute pleasure, especially as an outsider who not long ago didn't even know what Summoners War was, and now I think I've got myself the bug, and I hope that many of you are enjoying that infection as well. It's a good one to have, and a good group of people to be a part of. Let's send it down to Bill Carter.
Hello indeed. Guys, let's give it up. It has been a fantastic tournament, and we have our top 4 awards to present. Coming in our first third place, it's going to be Chuffles with that $5,000. Congratulations to you. Let's give it up one more time for Chuffles. And now for our second third place, it's going to be Shallot. One more time for Shallot. Thank you very much. And the runner-up, $10,000 in second place, it's going to be Cy. Congratulations, hoist that up. Second prize, $10,000. Congratulations again, Cy. And now, the winner of the 2017 Summoners War World Arena Championship, it's gonna be Tomato! The lion's share, $20,000. Congratulations to you. We're gonna take that check away because behind you, we're going to crown you the first ever Summoners War World Arena Champion!